There have been many peasant movements across India during the British colonial era, and they were agitating or protesting against the land revenue system or the rising taxes. Examples of the different peasant movements are Pabna unrest, Indigo agitation of Bengal, the most famous one, Champaran Satyagraha, Bardoli Satyagraha led by Vallabhbhai Patelji. And in fact, after Bardoli Satyagraha, Vallabhbhai Patelji was given the title of Sardar by women of Bardoli. So there are many such peasant movements, but one such peasant movement is hidden in the books of history, and that is Phulaguri Dhawa, also referred as Phulaguri Peasant Uprising 1861. What is the entire story of Phulaguri Dhawa? Let's explore in today's video. Hello everyone. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. Please listen to me patiently and carefully, because as a part of Phulaguri Dhawa, I am going to make you understand, or we will discuss the different course of events that led to Phulaguri Dhawa, or different course of events that led the peasants to protest. Okay, let's begin. Precisely speaking, Britishers have always supported the tea planters in the region of Assam, and they have never supported the cause of the common man or the peasants. Now, these British tea planters used to get the laborers from the other states, and these laborers used to work in the region of Assam. After some time, due to episodic diseases, due to epidemics and malarial-like conditions, many of the laborers died. At this point of time, these British planters required, or they were facing dearth of laborers. So they wanted the local people of Assam to be hired as laborers. But they knew one thing, that the local people of Assam, or the peasants of Assam, were independent-minded. In fact, right from the time of the Ahom rulers itself. And in fact, these people won't be working as laborers for them, because the Brahmaputra valley was very fertile, and the peasants did not have to look for any other vocation. But there is one way out how we can force the peasants to work as a laborer. And that way was imposing heavy taxes on the peasants. And when we impose heavy taxes on the peasants won't be able to pay these taxes, and Britishers would seize their land. And in such a situation, we will force them to work. On our plantation field as a laborer. So this was the plan of the British planters, and they proposed this plan in front of the British government or the British administration. The British administration liked the plan, and now British administration came up with the new taxation reforms. Let me give you examples of few. First of all, they imposed a different kind of taxes, like tax of 1 rupee and 6 annas on the cultivable land per pura tax. Tax on Lakhraj land, that is rent-free land, was also increased, approximately 10 annas. In fact, the fishermen had to pay 8 annas as a tax. Okay. Apart from this, like if you have to plow your field twice, so when for the if you are plowing the field for the very first time, you have to pay specifically 3 rupees as a tax, and when you are plowing your field for the second time, you have to pay 2 rupees as a tax. This was a simple nexus between the British tea planters and the British administration to pauperize the peasants in this region. Okay. Now peasants, they wanted to protest against this, and peasants thought that British are numerically not stronger than us in strength. In Nagaon, specifically, there were only 25 British sepoys, and we are outnumbering them, so we can overthrow them. Apart from this, for example, even if we start protesting against them, even if we try to force out the Britishers from the region of Nagaon, these 25 British sepoys won't be standing in front of our strength. But they can bring additional forces from Guwahati, Sibsagar, Tejpur and Rangpur. But still numerically we are much more stronger here. And at that time, Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha also entered into the mainstream peasant uprising. Now who was Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha ji? Like it is said that Revolt of 1857, it had engulfed the major part of northern India. And Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha ji, after 1855 itself, he had a very different attitude towards Britishers. Why? Because Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha initially was working as a Tehsildar for Britishers in the region of Assam. Now, one fine day, a British officer named as Charles Bruce, he comes to meet Maniram Dattaji. And he sees the certain samples of tea. And tea in this region was cultivated by the Singapore tribe. He collected these samples and produced these samples in the British Parliament and started commercial cultivation of tea in India. After some time, Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha ji, he had a plan that he is going to start his own tea estate with the help of the local tribals. But this was not liked by the Britishers. And so, he became an active participant in the Revolt of 1857, which had already engulfed the major part of northern India. And he went on different places, specifically the Kalang River Valley, Killing River Valley, okay, and sensitized the masses, Kapili River Valley, and sensitized the peasants across these regions. Meanwhile, a parallel indigenous army was created. Okay, and B.V. Kumar, he was given the responsibility of producing traditional arms and ammunition, such as bows, arrows, spears, and so on. And Lakshman Singh Dhekaji, he was made the general of the indigenous army, so that we will revolt against the Britishers. So, majority of the people who were the part of the indigenous army included the people from specifically Tiwa and Karbi tribes. That is Karbi and Tiwa tribes. Revolt of 1857. After this, Britishers adopted a very, very brutal policy of suppression. And in fact, Dewan Maniram Datta Baruha ji, along with his brother Pyali Baruha ji, both were hanged in Jorhat jail of Assam. And at that point of time, the peasant movement, it again weakened down because their major leader, Dewan Maniram Datta ji, he had passed away. And now Britishers wanted to recover the losses of 1857 revolt at any cost. So around 1861, Britishers came up with the new taxation system, or they came up with the fresh taxes. Now, forest produce, who has the rights over the forest produce? The tribes. If you go through the books of the history, you will come to know that majority of the tribal movements in India are based on three major issues: Jal, Jungle, and Zameen. Water, land, and forest. And in 1861, what did Britishers do? Britishers, they came up with the fresh taxes that you have to pay taxes on the forest produce such as bamboo, wood, and cane. Apart from this, you also have to pay the taxes for betel leaves, betel nuts. And in 1861, they had come up with income tax, and the people of India were completely new to this. Apart from this, they had stopped the poppy cultivation. Although it was a good step that they had stopped the opium cultivation, but this was not for the welfare of the people. In fact, the Britishers wanted to monopolize the opium cultivation and take the cultivation of opium in their own hands. Okay? In fact, Britishers had a very different strategy in the region of Raha Phulaguri, that we will take the monopoly of cultivation of opium, and in fact, we will try to addict the people of this region with opium. But there were many middle class educated intelligentsia who knew this strategy about Britishers. So they were planning something different. And at this point of time, Britishers had a keen attention over the activities of what was going on in Raha Phulaguri. So what happened? When Britishers came to know about this, many of the leaders, they were being arrested and put under banishment. Like Krishnakant Goswami ji, he was sent to Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, many of them were being executed, many of them were being put behind the bars. Now, what sparked the Phulaguri Uprising of 1861? Let's understand this. Hope you understood the situation of Assam till now. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, the Deputy Commissioner was changed of the Phulaguri region, and the new Deputy Commissioner was Lieutenant, specifically, his name was Lieutenant Herbert Scones. So Herbert, he was a very extravagant personality. Like, he used to insult a people a lot. Continuously he used to insult the people, even for the small mistakes. Like during medieval period, it is believed that Shankar Dev Ji, he was a bhakti saint in this region, and he had played a very pivotal and a crucial role in spreading Vaishnavism in the region of Assam. And he had started a sampradaya that is called as Ek Sharan Nam Dharma. And it is nothing but a Vaishnav cult. So across different villages in Assam, you will observe one thing, that there are Nam Ghars. These are not only the places where people gather for religious purposes, but it is nothing but a kind of a democratic venture as well, established by Shankar Dev Ji, medieval India Bhakti saint. So what happened? At one particular Namghar, Herbert entered, and Herbert entered with a shoe. Like usually whenever we go to the temple or any place of worships, what do? We remove our shoes outside the temple, outside the mosque, outside the Gurudwara, correct? But to humiliate the people, to insult the people, Herbert, what did he do? He entered into one of the Namghars with his shoes. And this infuriated the people. This hurted the religious sentiments of the people. And now people were ready to protest against any cost. Thousands of peasants on 17th September decided that they will go to the court and they will speak to Commissioner, that is Deputy Commissioner Herbert. Okay? Thousands of peasants went there. And this person, Deputy Commissioner Herbert, he did not have even that much of respect that he will apologize for hurting the religious sentiments of the people. But this person not even came outside to meet these people. Among thousands of people, some of them got angry. And when they got angry, what happened? Few of them directly entered into the Herbert's chamber without his permission. He got so annoyed, he got so angry that it is said that these peasants were fined, they were being beaten up, and they were being detained for the entire day. And these people just wanted that, apologize for whatever mistake you have committed, and secondly, whatever exorbitant taxes have been imposed on the peasants in this region, take that decision back. Okay, this was the request of the people. Now, again the peasants decided that this time we won't be going in large numbers. And on 9th October, they decided that again we will go and meet Herbert. Okay, on 9th October, few peasants, they went to meet Herbert and they said that we want all the taxes to be removed, specifically on betel nuts, betel leaves, collection of bamboo, wood and cane, and there should be no taxation imposed on the fishermen. Initially, 8 annas tax were imposed on the fishermen. All these words of the peasants fell on a deaf ear. And specifically, Herbert said that I'm not going to cancel or annul any of the taxes. Now, the peasants decided that they are not going to pay single penny as a tax to the Britishers. This is the first non-cooperation movement recorded in the annals of history. Phulaguri Uprising 1861, much before non-cooperation movement initiated by M.K. Gandhi in 1920. So, peasants decided that we are not going to pay a single penny as a tax to the Britishers. And now, they wanted to garner the support of the large section of the region of Assam, specifically in the region of Raha Phulaguri. So, on 15th of October, 1861, a conference was convened, and this was a conference of 5 days that we are going to peacefully protest against the rising taxes of the Britishers. Okay, so it was decided that on 15th of October, everyone will gather at the Namghar and discuss everything. Herbert comes to know about this. Next day, on 16th of October, Herbert sends one of the other person who was the station in charge of nagaon. Okay, and the name of the person was Haldar Barua. So Haldar Barua, he was sent by Herbert, just go and observe what is happening in the Nagaon region. Okay, now Haldar Barua, he comes along with few sepoys. He comes along with approximately 10, not more than 10. He comes along with approximately 10 other soldiers. Okay, and he tries to disperse the crowd, but the crowd was not dispersed. 17th October, he comes again, but still the crowd was not dispersed. At this point of time, Haldar Barua said to the people that 18th October, this person would be coming, Herbert, in Nagaon, and he would be discussing the issues with the peasants. Okay, but Herbert, he was a very intelligent personality. He knew that at this point of time, the peasants are annoyed, the peasants are infuriated. So Herbert, he did not come. In fact, he sent Assistant Deputy Commissioner, Lieutenant Singer. Okay, and Lieutenant Singer, he arrived in the region of Nagaon. He reached one of the Namghar where the meetings or the conferences were held. And when he reached one of the Namghars in Nagaon, he observes that he reached at the forenoon. Okay. He observed one thing, that nobody has reached by now. So he thought that I'll wait for a while. Peasants might be coming. And he was waiting along with few of the sepoys that he had come up with. After some time, he saw that people are coming up with lathi. Now, people or the peasants did not had any intention to go for a violent protest. We people usually observe that in the rural areas, usually people carry a lathi or a stick. And that is not basically for a violent purpose. It is basically for warding off any animals or object on the way. But Lieutenant Singer, he thought that probably people are coming for a violent protest. And by the noon time, it is said that hundreds of people gathered in the Namghar. Immediately, Lieutenant Singer, he told to this person, Haldar Barua, that take all the lathis from the peasants. Peasants said that we have not come here for a violent protest. Okay. And peasants denied that we are not going to give you the sticks, these lathis. Okay. Immediately, he ordered Haldar Barua that take forcefully lathi away from them. In fact, now people got angry. And when people got angry, what happened? People started beating Haldar Barua. Now, Lieutenant Singer asked the other sepoys to take the lathis and he himself charged on the protesters. And when he himself charged on the protesters, one of the peasants from the mob, whose name was Moira Singh Ji, he hit Singer on the head. And after that, peasants started beating this person, Lieutenant Singer, and many other sepoys that had come up. It is believed that Singer was immediately, he was being killed and he died. His body was dragged till the Kalang River Valley and his body was thrown in the Kalang River Valley. Immediately, the news reached Britishers and approximately more 50 sepoys were sent by the, Campbell, under the command of Campbell for temporary suspension or for temporary suppressing the movement. And prior to that, now the peaceful protesters, they have got converted into an angry mob. They attacked the police station in Raha. And in charge of the police station, Gopal Singh, he died. Now Britishers adopted a brutal policy of suppression. And it is believed that during suppression, it is said that Suwabar Lalung, he was being killed. Many other protesters were being killed. Campbell came in along with additional forces of 50 sepoys. And he created a massacre in this region. Now peasants, they got more surcharged. They gathered in thousands, approximately 3,000 to 3,500 peasants. And immediately at this point of time, the Commissioner of Assam, his name was General Henry. Okay, precisely speaking, General Henry Hopkinson. Commissioner of Assam, he dispatched new forces. And it is said that a very brutal policy of suppression was adopted in Phulaguri region. Not only men were being attacked, women were being attacked. In fact, these people, it is believed that they had completely lost the ethical responsibility and the moral responsibility to govern this nation. How? Modesty of women were being affected. So they did not spare anyone. As per official records, approximately 19, some official records suggest 39 people were killed during this uprising. And their bodies were left to, it was like the body was smelling. People were it was like when the bodies were there, it is like it was a pool of blood around there. And apart from this, a foul smell was coming. But still, Britishers wanted to create the deterrence in the mind of other peasants. So they did not allow the other peasants to take the bodies. Finally, Lakshman Singh Dekaji realized one thing, that if we keep on protesting, these people are completely unethical, immoral, and they won't pay attention to any of our demands, and they will continue this brutality. They will keep on attacking the modesty of our women. So at this point of time, there were many leaders such as Lakshman Singh Dekaji, who was the Senapati, Rangbar Dekaji, and Changabar Lalung. All of them surrendered. Later on, many of them were being hanged to jail. Some of them were being banished to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This was a short story precisely of Phulaguri Dhawa, hidden in the books of history. And this was the first non-cooperation movement conducted by the peasants of India in the annals of history, much before the non-cooperation movement conducted by M.K. Gandhi way back in 1920. My friends, hope you understood this. Very soon, I would be coming up with a video on Anglo-Khasi War, and we will understand what was the role played by U. Tirot Singh Ji. So hope you like the video of Phulaguri Dhawa. My friends, StudyIQ IAS as a part of Mission Success Sale has come up with an offer wherein there is a December SIP batch, and specifically speaking, it's a batch dedicated completely towards prelims. History, geography, polity, economy, current affairs, everything would be taught to you from the perspective of prelims examination. And the price is also quite affordable, that is 5499. Okay? And the last day of the sale is 7th of December. That is today. Okay, so it's the last day of the sale. Use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. And the most important one, there is a separate batch for every medium. So there's a complete separate batch for English medium that will cater to the needs of the aspirants from Southern India and Northeastern India. So use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. With this, I'll stop my words. Thank you.